Have you ever looked in the mirror and realized you look really attractive today? Or maybe you solved a complex problem at work and thought, wow, I am actually really intelligent. But the next moment, an alarm goes off in your head. You tell yourself to stop being so cocky. You remind yourself of a stupid mistake you made before, just to keep yourself humble. You literally punish yourself for feeling good. The crazy part is, if your best friend acknowledged their own beauty or intelligence, you would cheer for them. But the second you do it, it feels like a crime. Why does acknowledging a literal, objective fact about yourself trigger an instant guilt hangover? It turns out you aren't just insecure. You are fighting a bizarre evolutionary glitch, and there is a fascinating psychological experiment that proves deep down you actually do like yourself. You're just terrified of letting anyone else know. I know what your brain is doing right now. You're probably thinking, yeah, but if I don't humble myself, I'll turn into a narcissist. I need to keep my ego in check. But what if I told you that you don't actually hate yourself at all? In fact, your brain secretly thinks you are amazing. It just doesn't want you to know that. To prove this, we have to look at a brilliant study from 2013. Researchers wanted to know how people truly felt about themselves when their inner critic was turned off. They gathered a group of people and had them listen to a series of voice recordings, asking them to rate how attractive each voice sounded. But there was a catch. The researchers secretly slipped recordings of the participants' own voices into the mix without telling them. The results were mind-blowing. When participants didn't know they were listening to themselves, they consistently rated their own voices as the most attractive ones in the group. They even rated their voices higher than strangers did. Psychologists call this vocal implicit egotism. It proves that when your inner critic is blindfolded, you naturally recognize your own value. But let's translate that from clinical data into your actual, everyday life. This is the exact reason why you can take an amazing photo of yourself, feel great about it for exactly 5 seconds, and then stare at it until you convince yourself that your smile is crooked and you look ridiculous. The data proves the truth. The physical reality of your face, your voice, and your intelligence is completely fine. Great even. The punishment only kicks in when you attach the label of ME to it. From an evolutionary standpoint, standing out from the tribe was dangerous. If you were too loud, too proud, or too visible, you became a target. So, your brain developed a brutal defense mechanism. It beats you up first to ensure nobody else gets the chance. So, if the 2013 voice study proves that we actually do like ourselves when our inner critic is blindfolded, why are we so desperate to keep the blindfold off? Why do we actively choose to punish ourselves? To understand this, we have to look at a concept called the upper limit problem, coined by psychologist Gay Hendricks. Hendricks theorizes that human beings are conditioned to tolerate a very specific, limited amount of positive emotion. Think of it like an internal emotional thermostat. When you look in the mirror and think, I look fantastic today, or you solve a complex problem and realize, I am actually brilliant, you are rapidly heating up that thermostat. Because this elevated state of self-worth is unfamiliar to your ego, your brain registers it as danger. So what does your brain do? It immediately scrambles to cool things down to a safe, familiar baseline. It manufactures a negative emotion, like guilt or self-punishment, by telling you, don't be so cocky. Hendricks identified several subconscious barriers that trigger this, but the most common one for highly capable people is called the crime of outshining. This is the deep subconscious fear that if you shine too brightly, you will make other people feel insecure. Imagine you are at work and you completely nail the presentation. You feel a massive surge of authentic pride, but within 5 minutes, the anxiety kicks in. You start telling your coworkers, honestly, it was just a lucky guess. I probably missed a ton of glaring errors. Why? Because you hit your upper limit. You punished yourself with anxiety to avoid outshining your peers and risking social isolation. You preemptively dimmed your own light so that nobody around you had to squint. But it gets deeper than just trying to keep your friends comfortable. There is a darker, more existential reason why you call yourself cocky when you are just being accurate. Legendary psychologist Abraham Maslow observed something fascinating in his clinical practice. He noticed that his patients were not just afraid of failing, they were profoundly terrified of succeeding. He called this the Jonah Complex, named after the biblical prophet who tried to run away from his own destiny. The Jonah Complex is the literal fear of one's own greatness. Maslow realized that recognizing your own high intelligence or beauty forces you to confront godlike possibilities within yourself. If you are truly exceptional, you can no longer hide in the safety of the crowd. Excellence demands action, responsibility, and stepping out of the comfort of being ordinary. Let's translate that into reality. Maybe you are naturally charismatic, highly educated, and everyone tells you that you should be leading a company or running for office. But instead, you constantly use self-deprecating humor, calling yourself a charming mess to lower expectations. Maslow called this countervaluing. When you see your own brilliance, you feel the awe of it, but then you instantly resent it for the heavy pressure it puts on you. So you countervalue your own intelligence. You diminish your own traits and label your confidence as an ugly, negative trait, like cockiness, just to avoid the dizzying reality of your own capabilities. You see, these aren't a sign that you are a bad, arrogant person. Your guilt is a biological and psychological defense mechanism against being existentially overwhelmed. You are bullying yourself to stay small because being small is safe. If you cut yourself down first, the world can't do it for you. So, how do you actually step off this treadmill of self-punishment? Modern self-help culture will tell you to just love yourself or stand in front of a mirror screaming positive affirmations. But if you try that, your inner critic is just going to fight back harder. The solution isn't to force fake positivity. The solution is neutrality. Psychologist Dr. Kristen Neff proposes an antidote called self-compassion, relying on a specific technique known as mindfulness versus over-identification. Right now, when you think, I am intelligent, you over-identify with it. You instantly attach a massive fictional story to it. Your brain says, I am intelligent, which means I think I am better than others, which makes me cocky, which means I am a bad person. The exercise is to stop the spiral at the observation stage. You have to practice treating your positive traits as neutral data. I am intelligent or I look good today are mindful facts. It is exactly the same as observing I have brown eyes or I am wearing a blue shirt. You do not have to apologize for the data. When the guilt hits, actively soothe yourself. Remind yourself that the struggle with ego and pride is a universal human experience, not a personal flaw. Your brain is just trying to protect you from the tribe. You can thank it for doing its job and then gently ask it to step aside. Self-actualization isn't a magical destination you reach one day. It is an ongoing series of daily micro-choices. Every single time you choose to acknowledge your intelligence or beauty rather than punishing yourself for it, you are making a growth choice over a fear choice. You are not doing the world any favors by hiding your potential. As the famous quote goes, there is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine. Yes, it is terrifying to accept your own greatness. It carries a heavy burden, but it is the only way to genuinely live. Stop punishing yourself for being exactly who you are.